All right, welcome to Mad Lab Boxing. What's up, dude?
We're back.
We're back. Mike just did a nice 2-hour show for the big UFC card coming up this weekend, but we do have some boxing this weekend. Would you consider it a big card? Depends on, I guess, what kind of fan you are.
Casual big card.
If you consider Jake Paul being on a card, a big card, sure, it's a big card, but it is one of the two fights.
It's in our backyard too.
It's right in the Honda Center, right here in Anaheim, right?
And that shows how much they're promoting. I didn't even know that.
I mean, I don't think we would ever go to a Jake Paul.
No, never. But
unless we got free tickets.
I'm saying I didn't even know that. Like I had no idea. I haven't seen it posted anywhere on nothing. Zero.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Bro. We'll get into that.
And then we have Deontay Wilder also fighting this weekend. So, I mean, you know, at least he's fighting a real boxer.
Yeah.
And the only time he fought a real boxer, Jake Paul, was when he fought Tommy Fury.
Is he a real
who's
boxer?
Not really a great, but he's actually a boxer, and he lost that fight, right? Now he's fighting a guy who's had, 50 professional fights, lost his last 3 fights. They do have one common opponent. They both fought Anderson Silva. Mm-hmm. Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that says. You know, this is look, I don't really care about this fight, but speaking about who I think is going to win the fight's actually a little tricky here because I'm not really sure. You know?
The line says different.
The line has Jake Paul.
Minus 600.
Minus 600? That's insane.
Shit, I should have never told you.
You should have told me. I didn't know that.
Minus 600.
I'm picking Chavez Jr. anyway.
Just were you doing it out of the gate?
You know, the last 3 days I was thinking about it. I'm thinking about, he's the only Fury was the only boxer that Jake Paul ever faced, and lost that fight. It was close, but lost that fight. Chavez seems to be taking this seriously from watching the press conferences and the interviews. You never know with him. He could be saying what he says and just smoking dope in the backyard. He has a history of being lazy in fight camps, drinking, smoking weed, eating, not dieting. That's been what he's known for. He's known to be a disappointment in the legacy of the Chavez family, right?
Huge.
That's what he's known to be.
Huge.
Right? Huge disappointment in the legacy of his dad, who was one of the best boxers of all time.
Lost to Meldrick Taylor.
Oh, here we don't even start with the fucking Meldrick Taylor talk. I remember watching that at my grandma's house.
Bro.
Couldn't believe what a great performance it was by Meldrick Taylor. Because Chavez at that time was like 68-0.
Richard, do you know? I don't think Richard Steele ever reffed a fight after that.
He probably shouldn't have after that.
That was his last fight he ever reffed.
And that was when Chavez was undefeated. That would have been his first loss.
They blamed it on.
He ended up losing later on, but that would have been. He lost that fight.
They tried to blame it on Duva too,
and they ruined Meldrick Taylor's career.
They tried to blame it on Duva too. They said because Duva was shouting something in the corner that when they were giving him the count that he was looking over at Duva, and that's why he didn't answer Richard Steele.
Bro, 1 second left in the fight. Ridiculous. Anyway, back to the fight over here. Jake Paul's 11-1, but I mean, Woodley, Ben Askren, Nate Robinson. I mean, you're talking about just nobody's here who never boxed. The one boxer, Tommy Fury, who we lost to. Chavez lost his last 3 fights. Anderson Silva, Daniel Jacobs, Mario Cazares. I don't even know who that is. He definitely has the more experience. He grew up as a boxer since a little kid. You know what I mean? So when it comes to experience-wise, years-wise, training-wise, he should have all the advantages there is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Chavez Jr. anyway. I hope he wins this fight. I think if Paul loses this fight, maybe this will finally be the end of it, of the whole Jake Paul fucking extravaganza. So I think I'm picking Chavez Jr. more because I want him to win. But, I think this is I don't know how it's minus. To me, it's a 50-50 fight.
I'm going to tell you why it's minus 600.
Why?
Because if there's any situation where boxing can be fixed to take a dive for big money.
Oh, Chavez Jr. would be one that would take money for a dive, no problem.
Because you remember, like guys, think about like the fights that he's had, like never big money fights. Like they're not fights. I mean, he was a champion stuff, and mind you, in all 54 of his, in all his fights, he's never been like completely rolled by somebody. He's been beaten by people, but he's never been rolled. He's had a litany of experience with his dad and with his career.
Can we both agree that he's a better fighter than Tommy Fury?
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
he's the better fighter than Tommy Fury. But the thing is, like, this is a huge payday for him. And any fighter that is like on his level, Tommy Fury, someone that's just never, they're never going to break in or they're done to that, you're getting offered millions, bro. You're going to be like, what do you want me to do?
You think he's getting big money for this fight?
Yeah, he's going to get probably one of his bigger purses, I'm sure. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't listen. The minus 600 line, it seems like trappy to me, almost to the point where people who know boxing will be like, it's Julio Cesar Chavez's son. He was fucking born out of the womb with this. Like, he should win this fight. And I could see them putting wasted money on this fight. Jake Paul has a fucking marketing genius campaign, bro, where they only put him against guys. Look, listen to the resume that he's building. He's got Tyson on his resume, Woodley on his resume. He's got like all like Hall of Famers like on his resume. Like he's building. Do you know that if he wins this fight, he's gonna be ranked?
No, he's not.
Yes.
They said that?
Yeah, he said it's in like in his thing that if he wins this fight, he will be ranked. Then he can go off and fight like for a. I mean, come on, like he'll be ranked, bro.
Come on, dude.
Yeah,
dude. Any of those boxers that we watched, even in the local circuit, like the one we just saw,
he will be ranked if he wins.
They
this
would
fight.
beat him too.
He'll be in the rankings if he wins.
He's
this
cherry
fight.
picking the worst of the worst.
So as much as I want Julio Cesar Chavez to win, and I think he could win, I do. I think, but bro, if you watch this film, if you watch his routines, bro,
Chavez,
bro,
looks terrible.
He look and like they try to beef him up. They're like, "Oh, look at him on the mitts." Like Chavez piping the mitts, and bro, it looks like what is those the boxing classes with the cardio kickboxing classes, bro? I mean,
CKO.
You just listen. I just think that Paul's going to come in and whether he took a bag for this or not, he's gonna win the fight. I hate to say it, but I think he's just going to win. I was trying to talk myself onto Chavez. I was watching the things. I'm like, he's ready.
You kind of talked me onto Chavez. Now you're going the other way.
Yeah. Listen, I want him to win. I do. I really, really do want him to win this fight, just for the legacy of his father, for boxing. But I just think, like, I don't think they're going to put him in danger until it's time to say, okay, well, now you're ranked. Now we're going to give you a ranked fucking opponent. And then he's going to have no say in that. Now he's going to have no say in that because he's going to be fighting guys where their careers are still on the table. Chavez's career's done. Silva's career's done. Tyson's career's done. These guys, you get an opportunity to go in and make $5 million. You're fucking doing it.
There's no way he's making $5 million for this fight.
We'll see.
I'm saying he gets like $500,000, which is still a big payday for him. I bet you it is. But Julio Cesar Chavez purse. It's probably a purse. This is not UFC. The purse is already decided. I bet you he's getting no more than $500,000. You think they're going to sell, that many pay-per-views to this fight? They're probably giving the fucking tickets away at this point.
$1.5 million.
$1.5
guaranteed base purse.
Wow. All right.
That's his base. That's not pay-per-view points.
Wow,
or
I was
anything
wrong.
like that.
He's getting $1.5 million.
Chavez Jr. is reportedly set to earn a guaranteed base, so he'll probably maybe make
$2 million?
2.5. See, look at this.
Wow.
Jake Paul making $20 million.
He's making a guaranteed $20 million to fight who? This guy, I'm sorry. This kid's just winning the game. Anybody could say
he made $40 million against Tyson.
That's just ridiculous.
So he's going to get this. Listen, he'll make $2.5 million. $2.5 million for a guy who would never see the ring again. He would be fighting at the YMCA.
He'll be fighting at the Orange County Fairgrounds where we watch
the hangar.
At the hangar.
At the hangar. So
wow, dude.
They're not gonna tarnish this with he's gonna be if he wins this fight, he possibly ranked, and then you're gonna see. All right,
you
now
think this is already decided?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro, but I just think that his marketing team knows. Like, look. Like, you want to be fucking ranked, you got to beat this guy. Like, you can't be greeting the guy who's fucking on the street doing fentanyl with hookers.
Wow.
So.
Wow. All right. Yeah. So you're on.
I'm gonna go. Paul's gonna finish him.
Yeah, I got to be a moron to pick Chavez after hearing this out. But you know what? I'm gonna stick to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
I hope he wins.
Yeah, I hope he. I'm not gonna put a bet on him though.
But see, it's enticing though, isn't it? Plus 4 and change, like it's enticing to say, well, what's the
just
fuck?
throw a couple units just to see. Yeah.
They're gonna be people will be baited into that. I wouldn't be surprised if that line moves a little bit before Saturday. We'll see.
Wow, dude, he's actually getting that much money.
I was expecting like minus 300. I was like minus 600. Yeah,
minus 600. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right, the other fight this weekend is the Bronze Bomber making his return.
Bomb Squad.
Deontay Wilder versus Tyrell Herndon. Wilder's 43-4. He held the belt at one time, lost his last 2. He actually lost, really 4 of his last 5.
Yeah.
Because he lost to Fury twice, had the draw, lost to Parker, knocked out by Zhang, lost a decision to Parker with 1 win in between against Hellenius. He's trying to make a little comeback here. I don't know what he got left in the tank. The only thing we do know that he has is that right hand, but that's all he has.
So he's not a good fighter. Dude.
He was.
I don't care what anyone says.
He was the epitome of America is starving for a heavyweight.
Yep. 100%.
And at that time, there was just nobody except him, and he did have that big right hand.
The equalizer.
Do you think, what's really... Remember when
if he loses this fight... Ooh.
When he laid out Fury, and Fury got up in that 11th round, what do you think Wilder's career would have been like if he would have won that fight?
The rematch would have happened.
He looked like he knocked him out unconscious, and this dude got up like the fucking Undertaker.
I know, but the rematch would have happened.
Yeah. That was the last one?
No, I think the last fight
because they fought 3 times.
Yeah.
Lost.
No, that
draw.
wasn't the last one. The last one, it wasn't even really competitive. But, bro, there's fights where guys come back where they just don't want to end their career like this. They want to get a win and go off into the sunset and said, I had a great win. He's really trying to come back.
And this guy he's fighting is a journeyman, too. It's not like he's anybody.
No. So this is a fight where they're saying, you want to come back? You got to show me you could beat this guy. And he can't just beat him, bro.
Yeah, we're giving you a very beatable, tune-up fight if you want to actually get your name tossed back in the hat.
He can't just beat him. He's got to knock him out.
You know what? I bet you, because we're starving for heavyweights, I bet you if he knocks him out, he does get a big fight coming up.
If he knocks
Whether it's a Joshua or somebody.
He'll be back in the mix again. But they're basically saying, look, you cannot beat this guy by decision. Like, you have to knock this guy out in spectacular. This can't go 8 rounds and then you clip one.
It's got to be.
You got to put it on
1, 2, 3rd round.
Inside
first, second, third.
Inside 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be my prediction. I'm gonna say Wilder by knockout inside 5 rounds. I think he gets it done, but I just think his career's done. I think like after that he'll fight somebody legitimate. He'll get fucking knocked out again. Listen, I wouldn't be shocked if Herndon it's a heavyweight. Catches him with
but this guy
catches him with his shot.
He's smaller.
Yeah.
There's the reach advantage, the size advantage.
It's all in his favor.
There's the power advantage. This guy's got nothing to his favor.
It's all in his favor, dude. It's all in Wilder's favor.
This is just to get his name back in the mix. That's all it is.
And you can see the way he's advertising. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he was never a good marketable talker either.
Bro, you got to see him when he trains.
He stutters.
And then he would philosophize. What would he say? He'd be like, it's not we talk about the warrior. And when you wake up in the morning and drink your coffee, you got to know you're that guy.
He's such a shitty trash talker.
I'm going to go Wilder inside 5.
All right, so Mad Lab's going Jake Paul inside the distance, knockout, right?
Yeah.
You're going Wilder knockout within 5 rounds.
Yep.
I'm going Wilder knockout within 3 rounds, and I'm still going to stick to Chavez Jr. with a split decision upset to make his daddy proud.
There's no way they're giving him a split decision, dude.
I hope he does.
No way, dude.
Throw 2 units on the split decision. Chavez win. It's probably plus 4,500.
More than that, probably. All right, a couple more things we'll cover is Turkey. I like what he's doing in these press conferences, bro. In these press conferences, I think he was so fed up with some of these performances, Canelo's performance, the New York performance, that he's literally coming out now. And in his press conferences, it's almost like you're listening to like a mafia hitman. He's like, I'm putting together these fights, and I demand.
Yeah.
Did you hear some of the things that he was saying? I demand greatness from this fight. Demand this. He's putting demands out. So who knows what's in these guys' contracts and stuff like that, what negotiations, what he said, what's going to happen if you don't. He's even coming out and he's being honest. He was talking about Shakur Stevenson. He's like, if Shakur Stevenson loses, that'll be a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
He goes, that'll be a travesty. He's like, because we want to set up this fight. Like, he's a very honest guy and he wants what he wants.
And he put the $5 million knockout bonus on the Canelo Crawford fight.
Bro, imagine that. Throw a $5 million fucking. Imagine.
And look, I know these guys are making $100, $200 million. Yo, it's still $5 million.
Yeah.
I know compared to $100 million, you think it's not a lot. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah, and this is heating up now too. I just don't know what to make of it. They act like they like each other one day, then they act like they don't like each other the other day. They push each other in the press conference. I don't know what to make of it. It's going to be a spectacle building up to September, bro. We'll do like all breakdowns.
And they announced it where it's not going to clash with UFC No Check.
Yeah, so Dana White already said
Netflix.
It's on Netflix, which is sick. I can't wait to see. I can't even imagine the theatrics that's going to happen. The fireworks and the fucking entrances, and
that's what Dana White said. And they had him on interview yesterday. I watched who it was about this. He's like, right now, what's it like? Right now, it's all about the theatrics and how we're going to put this together to make this an amazing boxing broadcast on Netflix. It's all about that right now. We'll get to more details later, but right now we're going to make this the biggest, baddest boxing event for the home viewers. And it's at Allegiant Stadium. It's like, look, you know me, I'm not a big fan of the stadium events because I like the smaller venues. It's like, but we're gonna make this the baddest.
It's gonna be huge,
the
bro.
baddest ass we can.
And I believe him.
Yeah, I believe him too. So it's gonna be right there, Allegiant, and then right across the street, it's gonna be at T-Mobile for UFC Noche. Right, boom, boom, back to back. It's gonna be a great day.
Yeah, and then just one last thing we'll talk about, and it's not boxing related, but John Jones retired. Officially retired.
I can't stand him, dude.
I want to say this about this situation. This is one of a couple things. One thing is I think the UFC knew that he was retiring. They knew he wasn't coming back, and they held up the fucking belt and they held up the division in the hopes that he would change his mind. Another thing is, I think that he was holding out a little bit to see if he could pivot off of the Aspinall fight. He was trying to get fucking what's his name back to fight Francis Ngannou. That's a good fight. That's a fight. And then the legal issues that came out. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, Mexico, Albuquerque, whatever.
But the legal issues that came out. So, the fact of the matter is, he was never coming back. We said that for so long.
You know, I don't think. I actually believe Dana what he said. I believe that Jones said he agreed, and then
me too.
And then later on, so I don't think the UFC. Look.
Yeah, but the way he announced it, bro. You don't announce it like that. Like, so announcement like that doesn't happen in Baku.
Somebody said something good, right? Somebody said something. Look, man, the guy's 38 years old. He's did what he had to do. He has every right to retire and to go put up his undefeated record, allegedly, against a young, hungry guy like this. Okay, I understand that, but why hold up the whole division?
That's what I mean.
That's the biggest jerk-off thing.
Listen, a division that's terrible.
A division that's terrible. You held it up for a fucking year and a half. You should have wrapped it up a year ago and let this dude fight.
Yep.
You know, that's what just pisses me off about the whole thing. And I just can't stand him as a human being.
Me neither.
I hate him. I hate the way he talks. He's just a fucking dick.
And I guarantee you, mark my words, he's coming back.
Probably.
Mark my words, you will hear an announcement that he's made his decision. That
he said something. And
like Aspinall's going to go in. Aspinall's going to fight somebody. If Aspinall looks like he's got a little bit of a kink in his armor, he's going to be like, I'm coming back.
He even made a statement when he was tuned up because this dude gets sloshed too. And he even said he has this thing about him inside. He's so deathly scared of losing that 0 on his record.
I agree. Bro.
You know?
To me, he's lost a couple fights already, but...
I mean, bro, he fought a washed-up Miocic. Why?
Well, that's what I mean.
Why even do that fight? The guy didn't fight for 4 years, and like you knew you were gonna just
roll him. I mean,
come on, dude.
And I was like a believer. I was like, come on, Miocic.
I knew there was not even a fucking chance in hell.
Listen. I think he's great. I think he was great. I think he was great for the sport. But the fact of the matter is this. I don't care what anyone says. This tarnishes his legacy.
And that's all everybody's talking about now. You know, if he would have wrapped it up a year ago, people wouldn't be saying what he's saying. Like you're a jerkwall for holding up the whole.
Because if he would have won, beat Miocic and said, "All right, guys, I retire." Fine. Because then you can't say, "Well, you're afraid of Aspinall,"
and then come back later if you wanted to.
Right.
Why do that?
Yeah.
The whole thing was just asshole-ish. That's all it was. So,
all right.
We'll see you guys next week. There's more big fights coming. I know it's been a little light right now with these bullshit fights, but there's big ones coming up in the next 6 months. So we'll talk soon.